Welcome back. In the previous video, we found Atris alive in the green book in the fireplace, gave him the page for his Myst Lincoln book, and now, upon returning here to Myst Island, we see that things have become real. And that is, in fact, the case. We are now playing real Myst here. Yep, we are no longer playing the Masterpiece Edition. We have now transitioned on over to real Myst. Now, I know what you're probably thinking. Why didn't you just do the entire Myst LP with real Myst instead of the Masterpiece Edition? Well, I have two main reasons. One, considering that Riven, the sequel to Myst, did not have a 3D remake like Myst does, I wanted to keep things consistent with my Let's Plays of the Myst series. And the other reason is that those who are new to the Myst series, I would like them to try out the original Myst first before playing Real Myst and Real Myst Masterpiece Edition. I would like to get newcomers of the Myst universe to try out the original source material before going on to the spin-off series and whatnot. So yeah, at this point, if this was the original Myst, then we would pretty much be done by now. There's nothing much else to do. But here in Real Myst, there is actually a bit more that we can do. So let's go ahead and start things off by taking a look around in the library, because things are a little bit different here, especially considering the red and blue books that housed Cirrus and Achenar. As you can see, both of the books have been burned. Now, you're probably wondering, are Cirrus and Achenar now dead? Well, actually they are not, because they do appear again in Myst 4 Revelation. And in fact, that game pretty much revolved around those two characters. Anyway, oh, what do we have here? There is a book on the floor. Where did this book come from? Yeah, this book is not present in the original Myst. And if we go back to the bookshelf, you can see that there is a gap right here. Yeah, that book came from that part of the bookshelf right here. And in the original Myst, there was just another burned book right here that's pretty much similar to this one. But let's go ahead and read this book. It's a pretty short book, so I'll go ahead and include it in this video. So, anyway, excuse me. Rime, I have named it. A desolate age with a beauty that is quite different than I had expected or imagined. The intricate feathers of ice that fall from the sky are awe-inspiring. I feel as though I could sit and watch them for hours. And though it is cold here, like I have never experienced before, I find myself enjoying the change of temperature, for it is unlike any other place that I have ever seen. Perhaps the oddest thing is the silence. Although the wind blows on occasion, when it ceases, there is a suffocating silence that falls on this place, broken only by the distant cries of unseen creatures. I have visited 3 times and am sure now that this age will provide the environment I need. I believe the cold temperature is necessary for obtaining the correct resonance. Examining the structure of the books is ever more perplexing, but I am driven onward by my need to understand. The great tree of possibilities can never be fully grasped, but I must at least try to find one particular branch. On the subject of enlightenment, I would also like to find the cause of the mysterious light that shine in the darkness here. Though I never assumed that I would be able to build especially fast here, the speed at which I am progressing is somewhat disappointing. I do think I will bring Cirrus and Achenar as well as some of the machinery from Selenitic. Achenar chose to stay with Catherine, but Cirrus was rather excited to come. He has spent the last few days here with me, helping me with the beginning phases of construction. He too seemed to enjoy the ice and cold weather. He is intrigued with the crystal that we have brought with us. He has been a big help, as have others, and I hope to be able to begin my experiments here soon. Tonight, Cirrus and I found a wondrous spot to view the lights, although it seems they decided to hide from us. After sitting in the cold winds for over 2 hours, we saw nothing. It was rather disappointing. Cirrus will return to Myst tomorrow. He has been a tremendous aid to me, and I'm thankful for his willingness to help. The hard part of the construction is over, although I have decided after tonight that I would like to add some kind of observation post. I won't be finished as soon as I had hoped, although I am fairly certain it will be worth the delay in the long run. I have decided to take a break from the construction now that the tunnel is almost complete, and I have been able to set up a temporary space where the crystals will not be stimulated. I am quite convinced that with the right diffractive resonance, certain properties of the ink can be simulated. Catherine still finds it absurd and thinks I am crazy to assume I will be able to view ages with stones, but her unusual pessimism had not convinced me to stop trying. I came too close to success on Everdunes. I am fairly certain now that temperature indeed does have an effect on the crystals, but I have realized that temperature alone is not enough. The cold dampens some of the sympathetic harmonics, but a more active suppressor is necessary. I have acquired some geodes with a pure protected crystalline interior. Thin slices of the geode below each crystal provided a stabilizing effect and even amplified the clean frequencies slightly. After quite a bit of experimentation with the shapes and colors, I was able to capture a blurry image within a book. Though the link would never work, there was clearly an age on the other side. I can hardly wait to return and tell Catherine. I feel like I should finish the shaft to my observation post while I have the machinery here. Perhaps tomorrow morning. The lights were beautiful again last night. They had not shown themselves for so long that I had almost forgotten their beauty. I still must find the cause. I am feeling rather overwhelmed with what remains to be done. The crystals have not been perfected, the shaft is not finished, nor is the observation post or even the lab. I have not seen Catherine for some time, and I long to spend more time with Akinar and Ceres. Besides all of that, there are far away, in the back of my mind, the thoughts of my people and our lost city. I dreamt again of them last night. I have seen the city in its worst condition, and still, its beauty overwhelmed me. Even now, as I visualize how majestic it must have been before the destruction caused by Veovis and Aegaris, it amazes and saddens me. I am fairly certain that Dunny is not dead, as my father believed. I am convinced that there must be some who managed to escape the destruction and even now continue to survive in separate ages. Within me is an urging to take the chance and return to Dunny to find these survivors and properly rebuild our city. However, I can do nothing until I am certain of the fate of my father. If my plans failed, if I missed a single book when attempting to trap him on Riven, then he has been free all along. If that is true, then all that stands between him and the ages I have now written is the link from Dunny to Myst. As much as I wish to return to Dunny, without knowing the state of my father, I cannot risk re-establishing that link. I must observe my father without re-establishing that link. It has taken several years, and there have been many dead ends, but I have partially succeeded. Now that I have managed to view another age using the crystals, it is only a matter of time until I view Riven. At least I hope. Catherine will have her ideas about all of these things, and I miss her greatly. I will return to Rime later, when my mind has cleared. And that is the end of this journal. And here we can see the console by in the forechamber by this imager, with the console set to 40, showing the topographical extrusion test. And it appears that there's something behind the imager which we couldn't get to in the original Myst. And there's also the number 2735. What could that be used for? And there's also an image of the Dunny Caverns. Well, more specifically, this is the Agora district, which is something that we can visit in Uru to Dunny, as well as in Myst Online Uru Live. And there's also a drawing of the Ark of Karath, or the Gate of Karath, and Karath was the last great king of Dunny. Although he was the last king, he wasn't the last king because of the fall of Dunny. He became the last king because he believed of the fact that Dunny should not be ruled by a single king. And there's also a drawing of one of the crystal geodes, as well as an image of the observation post in Rime. And that's it. So why don't we go ahead and head on over to the 4-chamber and get to work on that console. Hey, look at this. I can do this in real Myst. Yeah, I can open the door to the 4-chamber while I'm standing on it. That's kind of cool. So here we are at the 4-chamber, and we haven't been here since the beginning of Myst. Like, the very beginning. But since we are here, let's go ahead and open this up and put in the number 40 on the console. Which, of course, brings up the topographical extrusion test. Yep, it brings up the snowy mountain landscape that we saw. And actually, this could actually be Rime itself. Yeah, I'm guessing Rime was intended to be included in the original Myst, but I'm guessing the people in Cyan didn't have enough time or money to include it in the game. I'm not exactly sure. But anyway, let's go behind the imager, which is something that we couldn't do in the original Myst. And there is another button back here, and when we press it, that console opens up and leans backward, as we saw in the depiction of in the Rime journal. And we got a plaque showing the path to the rocket ship, and there is a button right here which rotates this circular portion right here. And as a matter of fact, I wonder, did that change the path to the rocket ship itself? Let's go have a look. Excuse me. Oh, and also there are some places that we can go to in real Myst that we couldn't go to in the original Myst, like we can go behind the planetarium. Whoa. Okay, I just saw the sky change color right before my eyes. And we can also go in the forest behind this log cabin. And there's also something here that we couldn't see in the original Myst. It is the gravestone of Tiana. Now, Tiana, if you don't know who that is, Tiana is Atreus' grandmother, or was Atreus' grandmother. She raised Atreus from the day he was born up until he was like 14 years old, as described in the Book of Atreus, until his father again came over to the cleft, the place where Atreus and Tiana lived together. Yeah, they lived in a cleft in a New Mexico desert by a volcano. And Atreus lived with Tiana until he was 14, when Gen came to the cleft to take Atreus to Dunny to teach him the art. And Tiana plays an even bigger role in the Book of Tiana, which is the second book of the Myst novel series, and it actually described the events of the downfall of Dunny, which was caused by Tiana after she believed that Viovis or Aegaris, one of the two, I can't remember if it's one of the two or both, but she believed that they were innocent for the crime they committed, and that caused like a big uproar, and it caused like some kind of major riot that eventually led to the destruction of the Dunny civilization. But anyway, I think I got that right, because again, I've never read the Book of Tiana. Let's go down here, and we can see that a passageway has opened here on the side of the path to the spaceship. And at the end, we find a console with a 4-digit combination. And this, I believe, is where we must put the 2735 that we saw in the journal upstairs. And the console disappeared into the ceiling. But where or why? Wait a minute. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There are 8 sides in this room. This room is octagonal. And so is the library, for that matter. Hold on a second. Did that console raise something up out of the floor in the library? And the answer is yes, it did. It raised the central portion of the floor, and it had a book. And it is a linking book to Rime. Yeah, you can clearly see in the flyby that the snowy mountain landscape that we saw in the topographical extrusion test in the 4 chambers imager, matches the snowy mountain landscape that we see here in this flyby. So anyway, let's link to Rime and see what we can find there. And here we are in Rime. And we start off on one of the 2 metal walkways that leads out to a lookout post so we can see the vast sea and 3 electrical towers of some sort. And there's a hut right over there, and if we look up we can see the observation post that was inscribed in the journal for Rime. Well, let's go on down. Oh! I just heard a whale. What the hell? Okay, weird sound glitch of some sort. Anyway, what can we find inside the shack? Well, right off the bat, we found a linking book back to Myst Island. And there's a door, which, as indicated by that sound, is frozen shut. That's okay, there's a heater over here that we can turn on. Except we can't. It's not igniting. And there's a poster right here with a drawing of some crystals and geodes and some writing in Dunny. Oh, and also, I'm going to step over here real quick. Oh, yep. Look down there. Whales! Yep. Got a mother whale swimming with her 2 calves. Yeah, they start off like somewhere over there when you first link here to Rime. And if you get here quick enough, you can actually see the mother whale swim up to the surface and sprout her blowhole. At least we don't have to smell it. Yeah, my dad would probably know what I'm talking about because we know what whale breath smells like. Pee-oo! Anyway, there is a valve over here that we can use to turn on the gas. And I wonder... Yep, we can now ignite the heater. We'll go ahead and close the door here so that we can keep all the heat in here. Ah, much better. I feel so nice and warm now. And now I'm hearing a bunch of creaking sounds. Well, that did the trick. We seem to have melted all of the frost off of the walls and doors. And you can see that the floor is all shiny because of the frost melted to water. That's very nice attention to detail. Yeah, you can see the reflection of the door over there, but not here in the center. So, what lies beyond this door? Well, we shall find out in the next and final part of this Let's Play of Myst. So, until then, I will see you guys next time.